What's going on, guys? KCMO here with Rusty Pirate Gaming. So in today's video, I'm bringing you a very special base I made. It took me a long time to make, so I hope you guys like it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the lost compound of Atlantis. So before we get started, if you guys didn't know, there's a 2015 Best Base Award in Reddit, and I made this video in hopes to get nominated. I'll leave a link in the description, and if you guys could vote for this base, I would greatly appreciate it. And feel free to leave me a comment so I know who to thank. So this base isn't your typical base. Every part of the design makes it as annoying as possible for the raider. I surrounded the compound with high external stone walls, and they're deep enough in the water so it makes it impossible to pickaxe these down. This forces the raider into using explosives to take them down. I'll show you guys why shortly. Working our way into the compound, you'll notice I have a secondary wall. This serves two purposes. It restrains the raider's movement, and two, it gives the defenders a shooting dock to rain down on the raiders like sitting ducks. So if you didn't notice, this is a bridge base. The only way to get into the base is if you have building privilege, and you have to build yourself a twig bridge to get across. I'll get into more detail later. Once you pass the second wall, there's finally a third wall that is even deeper in the water, forcing the raider to once again waste their hard-earned rockets on a wall that cost a mere 1,500 stone. So if we zoom out here, you'll notice I have tool cupboards surrounding the compound. These roofs are currently not an effective way to protect your cupboards, because they're easily taken down by fire rockets. So a standard 1x1 would suffice, or you can use a tankier version I'll leave in the description below. So first, just to show you guys the range on the outer cupboards, you can tell here there's no way the raider would be able to build in. Even if the raiders did somehow make it inside, it wouldn't help much because there's no way to get back out. If you guys notice on the inside cupboards, I have these towers layered in a strange way. This building style was shown to me by my buddy Aimbot. Basically what it does is it allows me to layer the towers in a way that is far more cost efficient than your usual honeycomb, and very confusing for the raiders. I'll get more into detail on this later. Alright, that's enough rambling. Let's get on with the tour. Alright, so let's take a look at the tower first. So the only way to get up is if you have building privilege. You can't just simply jump up on the ladder because it's on the other side. You have to place the floor first and then jump right up. If you guys notice, I have 3 of these towers surrounding the base, and the 3 spots that are open have towers on the inside. So no matter where the raiders come from, we'll be able to see the raiders coming from at least one of these towers. There's going to be no blind spots in this base. Alright, so let's go take a look inside the compound. Alright, just to show you guys real quick, these high external stone walls are too deep in the water. I'm spamming my left click button right now. It's doing nothing. Can't pickaxe these. The only way to get in is to use C4 or rockets. Alright, and then once we get through the first layer here, you guys will notice that there's a second layer of walls. Whenever building a compound, you want to make sure that you restrict the raider's movement as much as possible. By building layers, this does exactly that. Got a bag and a box for gear, easy access when being raided. So up here I don't have a lot of cover, but it's a necessary precaution so I can easily shoot floaters in the water, and so I can move from tower to tower without having to jump into the water. You guys can use these towers for storage space or whatever you guys want to. I just put some furnaces in here to save some space in my main base. And if you guys watch my videos, you've probably seen a similar type tower. So I like using doors instead of windows just because you can see down a little bit easier compared to windows. You can also shut them just like shutters, so if you're not using one side, just make sure you shut it so you don't get shot from the back. Let's go down and take a look at the inner layer. Alright, now we're in the final layer. As you guys can see, I placed some bear traps, so even if the raider even thinks to pickaxe the wall, they're gonna get snap trapped in there. Same thing as before, you can't pickaxe these. So let's take a look at the bridge portion. I made this all twigs so it's easy to shoot out, so if a raider does happen to break in, they can't climb up here. And then to get into the main base, simply build across using twigs. The reason I can build so far here is because there's a stone wall halfway to the base allowing me to connect another group of twig floors to it. The way I have this base layered, it would take just as much C4 to raid as a 12x12. And this base only costs a fraction of the cost. Stick with me to the end, and I'll show you guys why. So on this level, I have some windows here for some easy defense. You can't see a whole lot through these windows, but if you need some good cover, this is a good spot to shoot from. And then in here you can use this for extra storage, or you can store extra guns and ammo here. And notice how I have the walls placed like this with no floor. The reason I did this is to help discourage raiders from raid towering. If they raid tower into my base, they're gonna have to be concerned about falling into these holes here and getting stuck losing a gear set. I really don't think anyone could raid tower into this base, even if they have the outside covers. But one thing I learned in Rust is to always prepare for the unexpected. So this is the main loot room. You could use shelves to fit more boxes, but you get the idea. Alright, so from up here, we have a great vantage point over everything in the compound. You can use this spot as a sniping dock, or a lookout to see where the raiders are going and what they're planning. An easier place to defend from would be the towers on the ground level, but this is also a good spot for calling out the enemy. If you guys are in a hurry and you don't have time to shoot out all the twigs, place some incendiary rockets up here. Makes it super easy to shoot out the twig, especially if you're in a hurry. Or you can just shoot it out with your AK. So I know you guys are gonna ask, so I'll just show you. This is how you build those weird looking towers that I built. So notice the small gap. If you guys didn't know, rockets don't splash through walls anymore. So this tiny gap makes it twice as hard to raid because there's now 2 walls instead of only 1. So this is what the footprint looks like. It's kind of crazy, but it makes it so much harder to raid. So this video is actually part 1 of a part 2 series. In the next video, Beach Hills and friends are going to raid this base, while I have a few of my guys defending. I'll link the video here when it's up. It should only be a couple days away from when I post this video. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to vote for this video on Reddit if you guys thought this base was cool. I'll leave a link in the description. If you guys liked the video and would like to be first to see any new content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This is KCMO with Rusty Pirate Gaming, and we'll see you guys in game.